Pronunciation of my school as well. Anyway, it's wonderful to be with you this evening here at Bett, and it's a real pleasure to be able to share our story. As I've been introduced, I'm Paul, teacher from South Wales. The accent may give that away a little bit. There's some cheers in the back as well. And this is...
Hi, I'm Kathi Kersznowski. I'm coming to you from America. I live in New Jersey, and over there I'm a technology integration specialist, which means I'm a technology coach for a whole bunch of teachers. I help to teach them about ways to integrate technology in the learning that they do.
And we've got something really exciting that we want to share with you, and it's a short amount of time that we have with you, but we want to inspire you. We want to kind of like that match that you take away, that you look at it, and you invest time in embedding it into your classroom. We're looking at amplifying student voice using some amazing digital tools, and we're going to share with you the digital tools that we have discovered.
So we like to start our story like all good stories start with the words once upon a time. So once upon a time, I came to Bett last year for the first time ever. And when I came here, there was a fellow that I knew and I loved and I had admired on Twitter so much, but I had never met him in person. It's this guy right next to me. It's Lanny from Wales. I was a big Twitter fan, but I hadn't met him. So when I came here and I saw him presenting, kind of got out my camera and I stalked him like a creepy stalker. And finally I got the guts to go up and introduce myself to him. Turns out he's quite an expert on Skype in the classroom. And I was here representing another tool that I love called Flipgrid. And so I was kind of walking around with a backpack that said Flipgrid on it, and Lanny said, "What's Flipgrid? Tell me a little bit about that." I said, "I'll tell you about that if you tell me about Skype," and we've been friends ever since.
We have been. Now, I don't know about you, but I can think of pupils in my classroom who are just completely disengaged from everything that's going on. Now, they may be pupils who are just not inspired by what goes on in the classroom and will often say, "What's the point in learning this?" Or they may be pupils who have difficulty in accessing the teaching and learning for one reason or another. And what we found is that we needed some way of re-engaging them in the classroom, some way of inspiring them to kind of achieve more and to learn and to become passionate about learning. And what we actually found was this vicious cycle. We found that pupils who were struggling with the reading and with the writing were doing so because they were actually having problems with speaking. And I was speaking with a school advisor a couple of months ago, and he said it's a terrible vicious circle where we're often trying to do things to improve the writing and to improve the reading, but really we have to address the oracy, the speaking in the class. So we were like, right, what are we going to do about this? We need something that's going to break this vicious cycle and get pupils back into learning.
And so we've used this quote sort of as an inspiration for our entire speech because we believe that we can get kids to find that voice. So when we ask them to strive to find your own voice because the longer you wait, the less likely you are to find it at all. And so I work with elementary schools in particular, and so this is so important because we believe in getting youngest children to start sharing their voice and amplifying their voice and saying the things that they value and that they cherish and that their opinions, and to show them that we really, really listen. And we found some really dynamic tools to do that.
And of course, whenever you're looking to implement something into the classroom, you do have to go on a bit of a journey. We needed to find something that wasn't really going to cost us anything. We didn't really have a budget for it. We needed to find something that we could use the equipment that we had within our school already to help us access or to help these pupils with their teaching and learning. We needed to find a solution that would help all pupils of all ages, all levels of ability, and across all academic areas. And when it came down to it, there were two tools that we found. There was the wonderful Skype in the classroom, and there was Flipgrid. And they were the tools that we started to roll out across our classes and across our schools. Why? Because they are also tools that have impact.
And so we found that the key to unlocking student voice was the simplest possible thing. It didn't cost a lot of money at all. It's practically free. You can get it for under 10 pounds. It's a webcam with a built-in microphone. If you have this, you have a key that can unlock the door that will show your students to the world and the world to your students. For less than 10 pounds, you've got the most valuable tool in your classroom to open those doors.
Who would have ever thought that a webcam and a microphone is actually a valuable key? But what we actually saw was that in using these tools in the classroom, engagement was rising. We found the pupils who had not been interested before were all of a sudden the ones who really, really wanted to get involved. The ones who all of a sudden were becoming passionate about learning. We discovered that through using tools like Skype in the classroom, we were able to access these amazing virtual field trips. And the child who would never raise their hand in class, who'd never speak out loud, was all of a sudden down the front with their hand up, wanting to ask questions, wanting to engage with the people that they were connecting with. We took our children on an amazing virtual field trip to an elephant sanctuary. An 11-year-old girl who is always very, very quiet, small little blonde-haired girl who's very quiet in class. They all went up and had their photo taken with the elephant on a big screen. And when they moved away, she had her hand on the elephant's trunk and she was smoothing that screen. See, as far as that girl was concerned, she was actually physically touching that elephant. That experience was real for her. She was engaged. She went home and she would have told her mother, "I've met an elephant." It wasn't just a video connection. It was real to her. But we're also looking at the way in which pupils are improving. Pupils are attaining, pupils are achieving. We've got pupils who all of a sudden are growing as confident learners. As a teacher, that's what I want. I want my pupils to become confident learners. We're seeing the academic achievement in our pupils, and we are seeing the thrill that they have from achieving in something that they may not have achieved in previously. But the most amazing thing is that through using these tools, they are developing, without realizing, essential transferable life skills. They are developing the skills of communication, the skills of working with others, the skills of problem solving, and most importantly, they're developing empathy, something that can be very difficult to bring into a classroom environment, but it just happens naturally. And this is what we're seeing, and as educators, this is what we're thrilled about. And when we're developing empathy, it can only go one way.
And one of the things that we've really seen, probably the most miraculous thing that we've seen, is children are developing a love through the use of these simple webcams, through the use of that key, that doorway. They're connecting with children in other schools, in other communities, in other countries, and across the world. And when they talk to children from other places, guess what? Our children care, and they start to develop this empathy and this sense of, I need to do something, I need to take action, and we see it happening more and more. I just talked to a woman this morning who said, please connect with me. My class in Kenya, they just want to talk to kids from America, and I said, well, my kids in America want to talk to you too. And she's got a really interesting school where she wants her children to see children like mine who live, learn, and look differently than others. And my children, and I told her this, my children who are from sort of a suburban community in America, imagine what they will get from being able to connect with a class in Kenya where there are 105 students in a school that has no money and one computer. I can't wait to see the power of that global connection using Flipgrid and Skype in the classroom.
We are finding pupils, through using these tools, are finding a voice that they never had. And not only are they finding a voice that they never realized they had and using it to help them in the classroom, but they are actually starting to realize that their voice can be used across the world. Every time I speak about global connections and linking classes, I kid you not, it's just happened now. I've just got goosebumps on my arms because I know exactly the impact that it has. We connected with a school in Serbia, and without prompting, the two classes started singing alongside each other. We connected with a school in China, and within 40 minutes of connecting, my pupils turned and said, when can we connect with our friends again? So while they are developing academically and growing in confidence, they are making friends across the world. And we have got a wonderful friend who's here at the conference this week who says, it's a lot more difficult to start wars when you've got friends across the world. And she is so right with what she said. And as teachers, we've got this wonderful opportunity to help pupils academically through finding their voices, as well as helping them to promote global citizenship and make those friends across the world and those differences.
Yeah, I wanted to just mention for a second, we have a class in my school, a third grade class, that's recently just connected with a school in Mexico. And we've connected a few times with them, and the school in Mexico, on the last connection, which was the third, they said, wait, we've prepared something for you. We've done something. Now, I'm an American citizen, and this is Mexico, and what's happened is they said, we want to surprise you with this. And they recited our Pledge of Allegiance to us in Spanish. And it was just a really, really special kind of a thing, and the kids were in all of that. Those are the connections that we're forging.
See, the amazing thing is that when we started with Once Upon a Time, that story is still actually continuing for us. When we met at Bett, I came here without a checkbook in my pocket, but I left a rich man. I left because I'd been inspired by some of the educators that I met here who shared their ideas, who supported me in the things that I did after I left here. I was able to turn to Kathi and say, can you help me with Flipgrid and get started in my classroom? And vice versa. That's the amazing thing about Bett. You can come here without money in your pocket, and you can leave a rich person, and as a result, your school will ultimately benefit from that. And when your school benefits from it, your pupils benefit from it as well. One of the projects that we run in our school, as we talk about peer support here and us supporting each other, we have a transition project in our school. Now, moving from primary to secondary school is a huge part of somebody's life. And it's something that kids face with nerves and anticipation. So we use Flipgrid to connect the primary school with the secondary school together. The primary school pupils ask questions, such as, what if I forget to do my homework? What if I get lost walking around the school? How do I get to know all the new teachers? They're moving from a class of one teacher to a school a lot bigger with about 14 or 15 different teachers. And who responds to them? Pupils do. We have got Year 8 and Year 9 pupils who give up their lunchtime to respond to primary school pupils and help them feel comfortable about making this huge transition in their education. And it really does have impact.
Well, it's had an impact on us. We started our story with Once Upon a Time, and that whole story has really come full circle because we met last year, and what's so interesting is that for the past year and even to come to this conference, we've used the very tools that we're telling you about. We've communicated for a full year using Skype in the classroom, Skype, and Flipgrid. And this is how we communicate. We have a 5-hour time difference. He's in Wales, I'm in the United States, but we forged a global friendship, a lifelong friendship. And we're using the very tools that we're so passionate about because we're sharing our voice with each other and we're helping each other. That's what it's all about.
No, it's easy for us to stand on stage and you can say, well, there's two people who are saying these things, okay? Oh, well, it's not easy to stand on stage, I'll tell you that now, but it's easy for us to stand here and talk about it. But you can go onto social media, and here's an example of 2 educators who posted online. And when we look at that one over on the left-hand side, what stands out to me, that it's not a teacher saying what they've done in their class, but it's a pupil who's saying, look at me, Miss, I realized that I am good at detail when I'm talking. See, those pupils may struggle with the written work, but when they talk, there's richness and depth. He's becoming a confident learner. And of course then, Kathi, we've got this other tweet, haven't we, which really strikes home.
Just so beautiful. Look at this. This teacher wrote 100%. I have a girl, a student. I have a girl who didn't say a word for the first 3 months of school. I introduced Flipgrid, and she started talking through that tool. It enabled her to share her voice, and now she actually raises her hand in class. Boom, right? Boom. That's what it's done. The students have been using these tools. They've been become comfortable with sharing with their teacher, with their peers, with their class, with their school, and with the world. It's enabled them to have their voices amplified and know that people are out there and willing to listen. And it's built all those skills like confidence and being able to problem solve and being able to work together with a team and developing empathy, all those skills that they'll need in life, they've learned through using these digital tools. It has empowered our students.
So we want to leave you with a challenge as you go from here. See, help your pupils to realize that a single voice pitched at the right level can start an avalanche. It's amazing to think that we need to get our pupils to find their voice, to use their voice, and realize that their voice can change the world. We hope that something may have struck with you today about your pupils, and you may want to go back and integrate this into your classes. There's our Twitter handles. Please reach out to us. We're here to help you in any way that we can. It is something that we're passionate about, and we know it's something that every single child in the education system will benefit from. Thank you ever so much for coming along this afternoon.
Thank you.
Everything that kills me makes me feel alive.